assemble! It's time to enter the arena.
Hello everyone, Moobies here, and in this video we will discuss the ever-oblivious Thorim and his deceased wife Sif, if you can make the timer. And we'll go over the normal and hard mode versions of this fight. Let's get into it. Thorim is a two-phase fight with a whole lot of adds. Let's start with those. First, you have Dark Rune Acolytes. These are the healer adds, and they cast Greater Heal and Renew, periodically casting Holy Smite. Then we have Dark Rune Champions. These attack with Mortal Strike, they can charge, and they'll also Whirlwind, so be careful, melee. Next is Dark Rune Commoners. These are non-elite mobs that can interrupt spellcasting and attack with Low Blow. Then we have Dark Rune Evokers. These attack with Runic Lightning and can cast Runic Mending and Runic Shield. Dark Rune Warbringers also cast Runic Strike as their basic attack, and they have a passive Aura of Celerity. These mobs can be mind controlled. The Iron Ring guards use Whirling Tap to stun a target and Impale to damage it, and then Iron Honor guards cleave and occasionally hamstring, and they can also stun with their Shield Smash. There are also two mini bosses. There's a Runic Colossus, which will do a smash in a frontal cone, Runic Barrier, and randomly charge enemies, dealing physical damage. The other mini-boss is an Ancient Rune Giant. This buffs allies with Runic Fortification. It will use Stomp and randomly cast Rune Detonation. Now let's go over Thorim's abilities. Thorim has different abilities for each phase. During phase 1, he'll stand on the overhang and cast at you. He's buffed by Sheath of Lightning, which reduces his damage taken by 99% during phase 1. Stormhammer will inflict nature damage and stun the target for 2 seconds, causing Deafening Thunder around them. Deafening Thunder inflicts 5,000 nature damage and increases casting speed by 75% for 8 seconds. Charge Orb charges one of the 4 orbs in the room with lightning, causing it to strike with Lightning Shock, dealing 3,000 nature damage to any players nearby. After 5 minutes in this phase, if you have not yet reached him, he will berserk and kill everyone with a Lightning Orb. In phase 2, Thorim jumps down into the arena and gains all new abilities. First is Touch of Domination, which reduces Thorim's health and damage by 25%. This is only active if Sif is not present in the arena. He'll cast Chain Lightning, which hits for 5,000 nature damage and increases its damage by 100% per jump. Like Sir Zeliek on the Four Horsemen, this will kill people if it chains too far. He'll also cast Lightning Charge, which charges in a 60-degree cone from Thorim to the wall. You can see where this is going to hit with a blue lightning on the ground going from the wall to Thorim. Finally, Unbalancing Strike. This inflicts 200% weapon damage on the main tank and reduces their defense skill by 200 for 15 seconds. If you activate Hard Mode, Sif will enter the arena and have 3 other abilities to work around. Frostbolt Volley, which hits the entire raid for around 12,000 frost damage, reducing movement speed by 50% for 4 seconds. Frost Nova, which hits for 7,500 frost damage to nearby enemies, immobilizing them for up to 6 seconds. This spell has a 2.5 second cast time. And finally, Blizzard. Like Shade of Aran in Karazhan, a rain of ice moves around the room, dealing 5,500 damage per second for 10 seconds. Movement speed is reduced by 65% while in the blizzard. Now that we're familiar with the fight and all the abilities, let's talk about how to handle it all. It's strategy time. First, we'll go over the normal mode strategy. Overall, it's not very different from hard mode strategy. The main differences come in Phase 2 with positioning. For this fight, you want a normal balanced raid composition, 2 tanks, 4 to 5 healers, and a mix of range and melee DPS. For Phase 1, it's exactly the same on both normal and hard mode. Split your raid into 2 groups, an arena group and a hallway group. The ideal setup for this is that the arena group should be mostly melee with a single tank, and the hallway group should be mostly range with the other tank and 2 to 3 healers. In the arena, the melee DPS will want to use this priority for the adds: Dark Rune Acolyte, Dark Rune Evoker, Dark Rune Champion, Dark Rune Warbringer, and finally Dark Rune Commoner. A cheeky strategy here is to keep a Shadow Priest in the arena and have them mind control the Warbringer and continually cast Aura of Celerity to buff their group. It is not raid-wide, only party-wide, so give it to your best DPS. In the hallway, there are 2 sets of mobs, then a mini-boss, 2 more sets of mobs, then another mini-boss. The first mini-boss is at the end of the first hallway, and until you reach it, he will slam down on one side of the hallway. Have someone watching it and calling out where to move. This works like the Scotty encounter in Utgard Pinnacle. Don't get hit by this. It can kill you in one shot. The priority for the adds in the hallway are as follows: Dark Rune Acolyte, Iron Ring Guard, Iron Honor Guard. When you reach the first mini-boss, have your tank pick it up and turn it around. It will still finish its cast of the slam, so be careful when engaging. Stack up on its butt and kill it quickly. Once it's dead, the door behind it will open and you can keep moving forward. There is no more slam, so you can run through however you'd like. Go up the staircase after the mobs are dead to engage the second mini-boss. This one you want to spread out as much as possible to avoid the runic detonation, which will root the target in place. After the second mini-boss dies, the door to Thorim will open. Do not run straight through this hallway. The center pieces will explode and stun you if you walk through them. If you're not trying to do hard mode, you may need to wait here. The timer is very generous to begin hard mode at 3 minutes. Ensure you don't move out onto Thorim's platform. Stay pretty far back until the timer runs up and Sif leaves if you're doing normal mode. Now is where Phase 2 begins. We'll first talk about how to handle this on normal mode. Communicate when Phase 2 is beginning. We had our tank that was in the hallway jump down first and pick up Thorim. Your melee will have 2 stack points like they do on KT in Nax. Spread the rest of your raid out throughout the room with healers in specific spots so you have full coverage. Unbalancing Strike is your tank swap mechanic. This will happen randomly, so tanks need to be very communicative and aware of when it's cast. Make sure your tanks are also quick to pick this up, as one additional melee on a tank that has Unbalancing Strike can be a one-shot, so taunt fast. Normally, we recommend countdowns to do taunts, but in this case, they won't be reliable, so just taunt as soon as he casts it. The hardest part of this fight will be people avoiding Lightning Charge and Chain Lightning. Lightning Charge is larger than you might think, spanning 60 degrees, which is 1/6 of the room. You'll want to move 1 column left or right from where the charge is on the ground to not get hit. When you're moving, however, don't stack up. Chain Lightning can be cast immediately after and gib a couple of your raiders. It's very important to stay spread out. If you can manage to keep your raid alive through all of this, you'll have this guy down in no time. Now let's talk a little bit about hard mode. The main difference here is that Thorim will do 25% additional damage, have 25% additional health, and Sif will be in the arena dealing additional frost damage to the entire raid. Since the damage is higher, positioning is that much more important. In the normal mode, you can kind of get away with not specifying where all the DPS will stand. However, in hard mode, you don't have this luxury. Put your raid in groups of 2 or 3 maximum and have them spread out around the room with healers. Remember that priest that's doing Aura of Celerity? That's really good here. If the priest is dying a lot, you can have them wear a full set of frost resist gear so they're easy to heal while keeping the Warbringer mind controlled. This is a bonus, but not overly necessary for first kills. Since this fight requires a good bit of movement to get out of the lightning charge, Sif will put slows out. All of her abilities either slow or root, so have Blessings of Freedom ready, dispels, or anything that can break root abilities or remove slows. The blizzard around the room is unavoidable damage. We don't recommend trying to move out of it unless there is a lightning charge in the same area. You should still be moving out of the lightning charge no matter what, as it will 100% one-shot non-tanks on hard mode. There really aren't any further changes to Thorim hard mode. Damage ramps up, keep your raid in very specific positions, give your beefy damage the Aura of Celerity with the Priest Mind Control, and keep all the same normal mode strategies as before. Well, that's all there is to it. Thorim is considered one of the easier hard modes in Ulduar, so I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you next time.